Section 1. The Rafah Crossing, a geopolitical pressure point. The Rafah Crossing stands as a stark symbol of the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This narrow border, a vital lifeline for the Gaza Strip, has become a focal point of international attention. Its continued closure has trapped millions in a cycle of humanitarian hardship and political uncertainty. Control over the movement of people and goods through Rafah has long been a source of contention. For Israel, the crossing represents a security risk, a potential conduit for weapons smuggling. Egypt, grappling with its own security concerns in the Sinai Peninsula, views tight control of Rafah as essential. The Palestinian Authority, seeking to establish its sovereignty, demands autonomy over the crossing. Caught in the middle is the beleaguered population of Gaza. Their lives and livelihoods are held hostage to the vagaries of geopolitics. The Rafah crossing, intended as a gateway to a better future, has become a bottleneck, stifling hope and exacerbating despair. The international community, while acutely aware of the unfolding crisis, struggles to find a solution that balances competing interests. The stakes are high, and the need for a resolution is more urgent than ever. The fate of millions hangs in the balance, a stark reminder of the human cost of political deadlock. The world watches and waits, hoping for a breakthrough that will bring relief to the long-suffering people of Gaza. Section 2. Conflicting interests. The U.S., Israel, Egypt, and the Palestinian Authority. The United States, a key player in the Middle East peace process, finds itself navigating a diplomatic minefield. Its commitment to Israel's security is unwavering, yet it recognizes the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Gaza. The U.S. urges all parties to prioritize the well-being of the Palestinian people. However, its calls for a negotiated solution often fall on deaf ears. Israel, citing security concerns, insists on maintaining a degree of control over the Rafah crossing. It argues that Hamas, which governs Gaza, poses a direct threat to its citizens. Past incidents of weapons smuggling have fueled these concerns. The Israeli government maintains that any agreement regarding Rafah must address its legitimate security needs. Egypt, battling Islamist militants in the Sinai, views the Rafah crossing through a security prism. It fears that opening the border could provide a conduit for weapons and fighters to flow into its territory. Cairo has been reluctant to fully open the crossing without robust security arrangements. These arrangements often involve the Palestinian Authority, adding another layer of complexity to the issue. The Palestinian Authority, recognized internationally as the representative of the Palestinian people, demands full control over the Rafah crossing. It sees sovereignty over its borders as non-negotiable. The PA argues that Israel's security concerns should not come at the expense of the Palestinian people's right to freedom of movement. Section 3. Life in limbo, the human cost of the Rafah standoff. For the 2.3 million residents of Gaza, the Rafah crossing represents a lifeline to the outside world. It is the only point of exit and entry not controlled by Israel. The crossing's closure has had a devastating impact on every aspect of life in the Strip. Families are separated, students are denied opportunities for education, and the economy is crippled. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza has reached a breaking point. Unemployment is rampant, access to healthcare is limited, and basic necessities are scarce. The closure of the Rafah crossing exacerbates these problems, pushing Gaza to the brink of collapse. The international community has responded with aid, but it is a temporary solution to a deeply rooted problem. The people of Gaza feel trapped, their lives held hostage to political machinations beyond their control. The uncertainty and lack of freedom of movement have taken a toll on their mental and emotional well-being. Stories of hardship and desperation abound, a stark reminder of the human cost of the Rafah standoff. The international community has condemned the humanitarian situation in Gaza. The United Nations has called for an immediate end to the blockade. Human rights organizations have documented the devastating impact of the closure on the civilian population. However, despite the widespread condemnation, a solution remains elusive. Section 4. Echoes of the past. Rafah in the context of historical border disputes. The Rafah crossing has been a point of contention since the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. Its history is intertwined with the broader Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the numerous attempts to resolve it. The 1993 Oslo Accords, which established the Palestinian Authority, included provisions for the operation of the crossing. However, the agreement's implementation was fraught with difficulties. The Second Palestinian Intifada, which began in 2000, led to increased security measures at Rafah. Israel withdrew its forces from Gaza in 2005, but it maintained control over the crossing's airspace and coastal waters. The election of Hamas in 2006 further complicated matters, leading to a tightening of the blockade. The Rafah crossing's history is a testament to the challenges of finding a lasting solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Past agreements have faltered, and trust between the parties remains elusive. The crossing stands as a symbol of the enduring legacy of conflict and the urgent need for a just and sustainable peace. The international community has repeatedly called for a negotiated solution that addresses the security concerns of all parties while upholding the human rights of the Palestinian people. However, achieving this delicate balance has proven to be an elusive goal. The Rafah crossing remains a potent symbol of the complexities of the conflict and the high stakes involved. Section 5. Charting a way forward. Expert opinions on potential resolutions. Experts suggest a multifaceted approach to resolving the Rafah crossing crisis. Some advocate for a phased reopening of the crossing, starting with the movement of people and gradually expanding to include goods. This approach would require security guarantees from all parties, including Hamas. International monitoring could play a crucial role in ensuring compliance. Others propose establishing a third-party mechanism to manage the crossing. This mechanism could involve regional actors like Egypt and Jordan, as well as international organizations. It would need to be empowered to make decisions independently and enforce security protocols. Funding for such a mechanism would likely come from international donors. Economic development is also seen as key to a lasting solution. Experts argue that improving the economic situation in Gaza would reduce tensions and create incentives for cooperation. This would require lifting restrictions on exports and investment in infrastructure projects. International donors would need to play a significant role in financing these efforts. Ultimately, a sustainable resolution to the Rafah crossing crisis hinges on a political solution to the broader Israeli-Palestinian conflict. As long as the underlying issues of occupation, security, and sovereignty remain unresolved, the crossing will continue to be a flashpoint. The international community must work to create the conditions for meaningful negotiations between Israelis and Palestinians.